Thanks again for choosing us. First, Western North Regional Minister Wilbert Petty-Brintum has denied allegations of halting a joint military and forestry commission anti-galamsey operation in the Tano Anwia forest. The Western North Regional Minister has come under strong criticism for allegedly stopping security operatives from cutting excavators from the forest and ordering the return of 15 of these seized excavators to galamsey operators. Here is JoyNews' Erastus Asaridonko account on the incidents.
There was a banter between the deputy forest manager and the team who would not allow them to seize the 25 excavators. So there were other confrontations. The district and divisional police commanders sent men in there ostensibly to arrest the team because they claim they are not aware of their operation. And it baffles my mind how the police suddenly got interested in illegal miners who are being chased out of the forest, when indeed it was within their jurisdiction to do so, and they have not done so. Subsequently, the Western North Regional Minister drove into the forest himself. He also asking the soldiers to stop tracking the equipment to the nearest assembly because he claims he was not notified. It was after we stepped in. And yes, the regional minister, Mr. Brintum, went in there and asked them to stop tracking the equipment to the nearest. So I sent him a message. In fact, I called him. He could not pick. I sent him a message asking why he wants them to stop. These are illegal miners. These are nature criminals who have invaded the forest for months.
The minister, Wilbert Petty-Brintum, has denied the allegation, insisting that his directive was to a mining firm in the forest, not the task force.
Nothing of that nature happened. I did not stop any activity of the military and then the Forestry Commission in helping all of us to stop illegality. I did not stop anybody. In any case, I don't owe that power. You see, let me give you a little background.
No, I want to understand something before you move on. Now, you said you were going for a funeral. When you met these people, you go down to exchange pleasantries. And then they led you to a certain point, which, of course, you went beyond the Dunko River, right? Now,
yes, you went along it. Okay.
So where were these seized equipment parked? And where did you make the remark that what they were doing was not, more than what the illegal miners were doing?
Yes. The point is that when you were traveling along that stretch where they had done this devastation and all those work, we did not see excavators. It was only at the point where you stopped that we saw one excavator coming from an operational area onto a high place. Okay. So at that time, there were no excavators parked there. And in fact, if you turn around, you could see about 5 excavators that were parked, that were standing at various places in the area. And that was at that point when I called the clean jobs guy to ask him all those questions and requested their documents.
Okay.
As for the military and the forestry, I didn't have anything to do with them. All what I said was that these people have worked, they have not done any reclamation, and they have not said anything.
Erastus Asaridonko joins us by phone. Erastus, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Well, the minister has denied giving any such directive to the task force. What more do we know?
The minister is not being truthful. I have evidence to everything I said. I stand by it. Even if the president invites me, I'll bring evidence to the effect that he drove to the forest, the Tano Anwia Forest Reserve, and ordered the military to stop tracking excavators they have seized to the district assembly. He did that. That is a fact. then I'm willing to prove that. Again, this is not the first time he has complained that he has not been notified of an impending operation by a legitimate government task force. This is not the first time. And I'm willing to prove that anywhere.
Well, just last week, this particular minister was addressing the media and indicated that he's really willing to fight galamsey, illegal mining, and even illegal logging. Is this coming to you as a surprise, Erastus? I
am shocked at his behavior. Behind the scenes, that is not the same song he is singing. And at the appropriate times, if I'm pushed, I'll bring the evidence.
Thank you, Erastus. Thank you for bringing us update. We'll be following this story together with Erastus and we'll be updating you, our viewers and audience as well. Now, moving away from galamsey, the minority in Parliament is demanding full disclosure regarding 2 flights that landed in Ghana in early March and departed for Gran Casanara in Spanish Island on March 25th. The flight on an ambulance and a private jet allegedly remained in the country for 5 days before their departure. According to the minority, there's no evidence that the air ambulance carried any patients upon arrival or departure. Ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, John Fojo, is calling on national security to reveal the cargo content of these aircraft, raising concerns that they may have been used for drug trafficking or money laundering.
Of air med flights and cargo air private jets transporting suspected cocaine and cash. Ladies and gentlemen, on another security matter related to our airspace, the Minority Caucus calls on national security to, as a matter of urgency, make public the content of cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash transported into the country by 2 suspicious flights, namely Air Med flights NH23AM and Cargo Air private jets Antonov and 12B, which landed on the tarmac of Kotoka International Airport in March 2025 from Gran Canaria, an island of Spain, and departed to the same Gran Canaria days after their arrival. Reliable intelligence intercepted by the Minority Caucus indicates that on March 20th, 2025, Air Med flights NH23AM, which is an air ambulance, and I must stress, it's an air ambulance designed specifically to carry patients, landed at Kotoka International Airport in Accra, Ghana, and remained in the country for 5 days before departing 1 a.m. on March 25th, 2025, back to Gran Canaria. Our intelligence further persists that no patient was transported by the said Air Med flights, neither to nor from Accra. There is no evidence of medical referral of or patients accompanying or on board the flights on either legs of the flight. We are reliably informed that contrary to the expectation that the Air Med flight would carry patients, the purpose for which it was designed and operates, it rather on this occasion carried suspicious cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash in various United States dollars denominations. In a related development, a private jet, Cargo Air Antonov An 12B, also landed at Kotoka International Airport on March 12, 2025, from the same island of Spain, Gran Canaria, and remained in the country for 13 days and departed at 6:40 hours, that is 6:40 a.m., on March 25th, 2025, to Gran Canaria. The very day Air Med flight also departed to Gran Canaria. While it is intriguing that the 2 suspicious flights would depart to the same location on the same day, even more intriguing is the cargo suspiciously transported by these aircrafts to and from Gran Canaria, an island known for its notoriety in drug trafficking, money laundering, among others. We call on national security to make full disclosure of the content of the cargo carried by these 2 aircraft into the country, as well as the cargo carried out of the country by the same aircraft to Gran Canaria, consistent with the principle of transparency in our collective quest to fighting drug trafficking and money laundering.
Additionally, the minority is urging the government and national security to provide an update on the seizure of gold bars and cash made in February. On February 9, the national security operative confiscated gold bars and an unspecified amount of cash from a warehouse in Sappeman. However, nearly 2 months later, no official update has been provided by the investigations.
On national security's raid on 12 containers containing gold and cash. On February 9, 2025, national security conducted a major raid on a warehouse in Sappeman in the South municipality in Accra, where they uncovered 12 20-foot containers filled with gold bars and unspecified amount of cash in various denominations of US dollars and Ghana cedis, worth over several billions of dollars. This operation was widely carried by various media outlets in Ghana. Nearly 2 months after this operation, national security has failed to brief the public on the status of their investigation relating to the corporates behind the billions of gold and cash stashed in the 12 containers, and failed to disclose the actual quantity of gold and the specific amount of money retrieved during the operation and what the state intends to do with the gold and cash currently in the custody of national security. We demand accountability. We demand national security to give account of the gold bars and the cash retrieved and what they intend to do with it. The Minority Caucus, as responsible opposition as we are, in absolute circumspection, have been patient and given reasonably 2 clear months for national security to communicate the status of their investigation with the public, albeit without any information from national security. The legitimate question Ghanaians are asking is, does the government through national security intend to divert the 12 containers filled with gold and cash only to turn around to deceive the public in the end and probably call the gold as fake and the cash as counterfeit? The public is hereby assured that the mighty minority will not rest and relent until credible communication on the status of the 12 containers filled with gold and cash is transparently made to the general public by the Minister for the Interior with additional responsibility for national security and corporates duly prosecuted.
Meanwhile, the minority is also calling on the government to resume the procurement process for offshore patrol vessels for the Ghana Navy. This follows a recent incident where pirates attacked a shipping vessel and kidnapped its crew.
On the matter of reported pirate attack, the Ghana Armed Forces on March 29, 2025, issued a press release in which the public was informed of investigations being conducted by the Ghana Navy into a suspected pirate attack on a Ghanaian registered fishing vessel, Magazine 1, which attack took place in Ghanaian waters on the evening of Thursday, March 27, 2025. The press release further provided that at approximately 17:53 hours, reports indicated that 7 armed individuals suspected to be pirates boarded the ship and fired warning shots, prompting several crew members to seek cover in a safe area. The pirates allegedly stayed on board for 3 hours after assembling all on deck and confiscating their mobile phones. The captain, chief mates, and chief engineer of the vessel, all believed to be Chinese nationals, were allegedly kidnapped by the pirates and remain missing. While we urge full-scale investigation into the incident to apprehend the pirates, we call on the government to resource the Ghana Navy with the required complement of offshore patrol vessels to fully equip the Ghana Navy to more comprehensively and effectively safeguard our waters. Ladies and gentlemen, of the press, you'll recall the diligent attempt of the erstwhile government to procure 2 offshore vessels for the Ghana Navy in 2024. This plan, in its final stages, was fiercely opposed by the NDC in Parliament, who called for the process to be terminated. Indeed, subsequently, the process of purchase was thus aborted. As pirates are aware of Ghana Navy's lack of offshore patrol vessels, the vulnerabilities in the security of our waters are likely to be exploited by these pirates. To strengthen security on our waters and serve as deterrence, we strongly urge the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Defense to prioritize the purchase of 2 offshore patrol vessels and recommence the processes for parliamentary approval and subsequent purchase of same. We on the minority side pledge our support for the process to become successful.
Moving on, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has announced the National Integrity Awards to honor citizens and other persons who are incorruptible and contributing to nation building. Speaking before Parliament was adjourned indefinitely, Alban Bagbin explained that the award scheme will promote integrity and foster accountability. The Speaker also announced there will be an award to be called the Vulture Award to expose corrupt public officials.
The National Integrity Award Scheme is therefore a crucial step in promoting integrity in the country by recognizing and honoring individuals who have demonstrated exceptional commitment to ethical conduct, transparency, and the fight against corruption. By this initiative, we aim to inspire a national movement where integrity is not only expected as stated, but desired and rewarded. As we recognize and award men and women of integrity, we shall name and also shame those who we consider as persons of low integrity.
The award scheme, former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inisa Fuseni, has been reacting to the saying Parliament is going beyond its prescribed boundary.
The way the news has been carried, it appears to me that Parliament is going outside its prescribed boundaries to look at corruption as a national issue and award or recognize people who, in the words of the Speaker, are inspirational and who deserve recognition by Parliament, and also to condemn people who, in the words of the Speaker, are vultures. They must be condemned in total. I think, with the greatest respect to the Speaker, that since Parliament is a microcosm of the entire body of the population, what Speaker should do is to limit what it intends to do within Parliament. Because there are many issues in Parliament that ought to be dealt with. There are many issues. There are perceptions of corruption. That's why Parliament established the office in the first place to fight corruption. So there are issues of corruption. There are issues of.
And the Speaker, you should start from home.
While respecting the limits of his authority, he should concentrate on ensuring that the Parliament itself shows by its activities, by its conduct, what they can do to enable the fight against corruption.
Away from Parliament, President John Mahama has tasked the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council and the Gender Ministry to negotiate with banks for the flexible loan repayment terms for persons affected by the Adum Blue Light Arena fire. Already, the RCC is compiling a list of individuals indebted to banks for support. Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amakuhene explains some of the affected persons are receiving psychological support after losing all their investments. Nana Ojima has more in this report.
According to figures from the National Disaster Management Organization, about 2,900 people were affected by the Adum fire. By the figure, 1,500 people claim not to be in position to feed themselves, hence foodstuff support. Dr. Amakuhene indicated records have shown some persons are indebted to banks.
But some of them who come in complain about their bankers still, pestering them for repayment of loans. I made this information available to His Excellency the President, who has requested that we take the details of the traders and their bankers so that we will get to know the loans they have taken and be able to intervene so that those banks will give them some breathing space whilst we see how best we can support them to repay those loans. So these are all support that we are making available to the affected victims.
About 8 people have been referred to the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital for psychological support. Dr. Amakuhene reveals a holistic support is being extended to the victims.
I think there was a key issue about psychological support. So that one too, we have laid with the team from Konfanoche, who we refer them to when the issues come up. There are others too who come in here, and if you look at their condition, you realize that they need some level of support. As Regional Minister, on behalf of the President, I encourage them that the government is willing to support them, and other individuals who have volunteered to support them are also coming around to support them.
Meanwhile, some philanthropists continue to offer financial support to the fire victims. Renowned road and building contractor Emmanuel Abuaje has extended financial support of 500,000 cedis to persons affected by the fire. The amount was received by the Regional Coordinating Council on behalf of the traders. Mr. Abuaje encouraged the victims to remain hopeful.
So me free Kumase na ejadie mo amudija mo amu wo table so mo ejadie mu nyina mo boa e ma oman.
I am from Kumase and I know the role small businesses play in the local economy. I am aware of the negative impact of the fire on your business. My foundation has decided to support people in need. So in response to the regional minister's call, I am here to support you with 500,000 cedis, and I call on all to respond in similar manner. Reconstruction of the market is uncertain as the Regional Coordinating Council wait on the Asantehene for a determination. For JoyNews, Nana Ojima reporting.
Still in the Ashanti region, the Ejisu Esaman community in the Ashanti region has been hit with irregular water supply attributed to occasional breakdown of the community's borehole. Residents often turn to boreholes of neighbors for water to cater for their needs. They are appealing to the government for a long-term solution as access to temporary means to deal with the situation. Nana Ojima has more in this report.
The existing borehole at Ejoso Asaman, built in the early 90s, has gone through several renovations. The regular breakdowns and repairs have drained the community until some residents began to sink boreholes for private use, mainly turned to streams for water supply. Stephen Buama is assembly member for Tikrum, Baro, Asaman electoral area.
We sometimes turn to the stream when the borehole develops a fault. We share the stream with animals. The repairs on the borehole may take time sometimes due to the costs involved.
Akwesi Brobe, a resident of the area, is worried about possible disease outbreak in the community.
A lot of us turn to the stream for water to survive. We can't continue to drink from unsafe water sources. It can cause diseases among the people.
Through a partnership between Rotary Club of Kumasi Premier International and electronic giants LG, a solar-powered borehole has been commissioned for the community. Aside from dealing with the community's water needs, the solar system is a means of promoting renewable energy. Katechie Efrifa is marketing manager of LG.
You know, as part of the SDGs, sustainability is key. How are we using the stuff that is around us to help enrich our lives? In Ghana specifically, there's a lot of sunlight. How are we going to convert this sunlight to make sure that it is also to our benefit?
Meanwhile, Rotary Club of Kumasi Premier International is encouraging the community to institute measures to maintain the facility. Rotarian Avinash Lakani is president-elect.
They've really got something good on their hands here. I think they should take very good care of it. They should maintain it because we know as a club that they do have more needs regarding sanitation issues. The club can always partner with them and do much more for the community provided the facilities that are given to them are maintained.
Now let's tell you how some of our Muslim friends celebrated Salah. Now for many, Salah is a time of joy, reflection and togetherness. But for some, especially with these orphans and less privileged, it can be a stark reminder of hardship. In Denu, Hejrawono, in Ketu South Municipality, two organizations, the International Islamic Youth League and the African Youth Development Center, stepped in to ensure that no one is left behind in the celebration. Their donation of essential food items, clothing and relief materials brought smiles and hope to those who needed it most. Ivy Setoji has more in the following report.
The Salah celebrations in Ketu South took an even deeper meaning as the International Islamic Youth League and the African Youth Development Center extended their generosity to those in need. The donation included food supplies, clothing, essential items to support widows, orphans, and the vulnerable families within the Muslim communities in the Ketu South municipality. Professor Dr. Hamid Shaman Kane with the International Islamic Youth League says giving is a fundamental pillar in Islam. According to him, it strengthens the communities, fosters love, and ensures that no one is left behind.
And our motive is to help the humanity. And during holy month of Ramadan, it's month of blessing. It's the month they give us of the Arabian world that the value that if I give this one, God will make kafara for me for all what I have committed. So definitely, every year we do this charitable work, helping the poor, needy. But this year, not only Aflao, we have been given in Accra, with all four corners in Accra, including Tuba, and every corner in Accra, and the central region, orphanage, and also the disabled community there. And also Tamale and Wa. Actually, the food have been dispatched there, also in Tamale and Wa. And Kumasi, and tomorrow, Kumasi food is going. So we are distributing the food across the nation for 9,000 families. Community leaders ensured that the donations were shared fairly, bringing relief to those struggling during this festive period. Ali Anebi is a community leader in the Ketu South municipality.
On behalf of the Muslims in Ketu South, I say a very big thank you to the NGO for their support. This will go a long way to support the aged, the widows, and then the orphans. We've had a lot of orphans in our community, a lot of orphans. The widows are there. And it's something that they don't get annual support. But this NGO coming in is timely. As you can see, that most of them may be thinking of how they are going to celebrate the Ramadan festive season. But with this coming in is timely and it's going to support them. So on behalf of the Muslim, I want to say a very big thank you to Alhaji and his team for coming in to support us. It is our hope and prayer that the next Ramadan season they will come in as well to support us so that we can also lend hands to the Muslims, those aged, the widows you saw here today, the the orphans, the disabled groups and so on. They need a lot of support. Most of them, because that notion that our wives, that old archaic belief that our wives don't work. So when a man passed on, then you can see that it becomes a burden on the woman because the woman doesn't have any source of income for the family. So it becomes a burden. You see that the children have to drop out of schools and so on and so forth.
The initiative was met with overwhelming gratitude as families who would have struggled to celebrate Salah were given a reason to smile. This act of generosity is a reminder of the power of community and kindness. The Muslim community in the Ketu South has been uplifted by this donation, making this Salah celebration one to remember. Ivy Satoji, JoyNews. Hedranawo Zongo.
Now let's bring you some health-related stories. The Cleft Teaching Hospital says its hopeful collaborations with international partners will help train local health practitioners with requisite skills to perform complete procedures such as cleft palate surgery. This comes as a facility, together with NGO Operation Smile Ghana, gave 45 children the ability to smile broader and speak properly after their cleft palates were surgically corrected. There's more in this report.
The corrective surgeries conducted over a period of 9 days benefited 45 children from across the country. Cleft palate is a congenital condition where there is an opening or gap in the roof of the mouth that can affect speech, eating, and overall health. The 3-year partnership between the Cleft Teaching Hospital and the Operation Smile team has helped improve the speech of children born with the condition. Head of the National Plastic Reconstructive Unit at the hospital, Dr. Pokuari Ampoma, added the initiative has helped to boost the morale of the children.
We want to be able to offer the most complex levels of intervention for the Ghanaian population. And for this particular project, we call it a speech surgery project because it is not the regular cleft lip and cleft palate reconstruction that we have been doing. These are a subset of patients who have had their palates fixed. Now, the palate is an important element if you're able to speak properly. And so for some of the patients, even though the palate has been repaired, they are still not able to speak very clearly. Help is available within Ghana, and it's just a phone call away. So we have a contact line for Patient Smile, or you can come directly to the center, or you can call the center. Either way.
Dr. Ampoma further expressed hope such collaborations would facilitate the investment in equipping the partnering health facilities, as well as build the capacity of the local surgeons who join the Operation Smile team, so they can also perform such complete surgeries on their own.
Of course, can we do more? Yes, we can obviously do more, but it is an ongoing process, and so in terms of funding, in terms of support for these patients at the district level, because previously we had only about 4 speech therapists in Ghana. Now there are about 54 of them.
A speech therapist with the team, Diadra Maloon, who highlighted how communication difficulties due to cleft palates affect the quality of life of children, noted a need for more speech therapists to train them after the surgeries.
What we do is we implement different surgical techniques so we can improve the way the patient speaks. And after the surgery, and this is very important, it's not finished. The patient needs to continue with a program of speech therapy. So what is happening here in Ghana is very important, because the Operation Smile team here in Ghana is being able to provide really good surgery with a local team, and also to provide speech therapy with a local team.
Yearly, parents of children with cleft palates look forward to the Operation Smile team visiting Ghana. Their ultimate desire is to have access, a free one, to these life-changing surgeries so they can see their children communicate effectively and confidently.
You're watching News Today. Please, we go for a quick break. When we come back, business, showbiz and sports.
Hello, good afternoon to you and a warm welcome to the business segment on JoyNews Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. The Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Ms. Bernice Owen-Jones, has announced a $76 million investment in climate-smart agriculture and ongoing collaborations with the Ghanaian government to drive sustainable development. Here's more in this report.
The Australian government is investing $76 million in over 6 years to support climate-resilient agriculture, clean energy, and research in Africa. Australian High Commissioner Bernice Owens-Jones, in an interview, highlighted partnerships with Ghana, focusing on food security, renewable energy, and private sector collaboration to drive sustainable development.
Here in Africa, we're very aware of the escalating impact of climate change, particularly in the areas of food security and agriculture. For this reason, drawing on Australia's very deep expertise, the Australian government will be investing over $76 million over a period of 6 years on research, on agriculture development, climate resilient agriculture, smart agriculture, and we're going to be doing this in Ghana as well, which I'm very pleased about.
Speaking at the Future for Africa Australia Clean Energy and Critical Mineral Partnerships event, Climate Change Councillor Daniel Featherstone emphasized the importance of fostering mutually beneficial collaborations to combat climate change and enhance sustainability across Africa.
Let's talk about the youth. They say the future is for the youth. So with all these actions, what role can the youth play in achieving the outcomes that we're intending for?
This generation is going to bear the consequences of climate change, but they also have the opportunities to resolve it and work to deliver a greener, sustainable future. The opportunities that they have is they're right now at the start of the transformation journey. They will be the leaders that we look to. They will have the opportunity to implement new processes, new technologies, wonderful things that we haven't even considered. They will deliver, I think, the solutions that we need to the world's problems.
Co-founder and CEO of Solar Taxi, George Appiah, emphasized the potential of climate action in fostering sustainable businesses and employment in Africa.
On climate change, the biggest challenge that we have for our generation, and that out of that also is the biggest opportunities also. So if you look at from us, coming from Solar Taxi, we're an electric mobility company. We design and assemble electric vehicles locally and sell to the market. So we are solving the issue of climate change by taking climate action through e-mobility, and at the same time we are employed, and then we are making an impact in our society. So we shouldn't just look at the climate change as something that will deter away from us as a challenge. No, it's also an opportunity. Let's tap into this. There's various areas that we could look at, from afforestation to mobility to water and all that.
Australia's commitment to climate resilience and sustainable development in Africa continues to strengthen through strategic partnerships, investments, and innovation. Rosla Calistego's report.
The Accra Technical University is strengthening its hands-on training approach through a collaboration with Kasona to equip students with practical skills in diagnostic imaging. Here's a report.
Accra Technical University and Kasona are partnering to enhance hands-on training in diagnostic imaging. Speaking to Joy Business, Head of Medical Laboratory Technology Department, Dr. Henry Hackman, explained the collaboration's goal of equipping students and specialists with practical skills in using and maintaining advanced imaging equipment.
We observe that they do deal in equipment. They do deal in diagnostic imaging equipment. And so we saw that we could have a good collaboration and partnership with them so that we can train our students on this current and modern imaging equipment. As an institution, we prioritized hands-on training And also, we make our students go on what we call intra and inter-clinical attachment.
Clinical specialist Middle East and Africa, Mary Goretti, emphasized the importance of advanced imaging features in improving diagnostic accuracy and enhancing medical training.
Our presentation this afternoon included the advanced technology that we use on our ultrasound, which supports the confidence of ultrasound users, including radiologists, sonographers, obstetricians, gynecologists, cardiologists, and all other ultrasound users to efficiently and to confidently make their diagnosis. I also talked about other liver assessments, which is not just elastography stiffness of the liver, but also currently we have technology that is able to quantify the fat that we have in the liver. It will tell us whether we have very high fatty liver or it is just starting to be fat.
Sales lead at Kasuna Global Imaging, Gladys Tete, highlighted the initiative's role in exposing students to advanced ultrasound, X-ray, CT scan, and MRI technologies, bridging the gap between education and practical expertise.
So we came up with this idea to help these students get in-depth, knowledge on the use of ultrasound machines. There are certain important applications on these equipment that most people who go through these education are not exposed to.
That's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Donald Quantin is next with sports.